Hey everybody, how you all doing? Ladies and Germans alike, this is Company of Heroes 2 1v1 action, and of course I am your host with the most, the Sultan speaking? I don't know. Khan Ulrich, and over here we're going to see a battle of two titans of this particular stage. In the east, playing the OKW, not an oft-seen faction it seems in a lot of replays. It is of course helping Hans, bringing to the fray, of course, that Special Operations Doctrine, Scavenge Doctrine, and Breakthrough Doctrine. His opponent, somewhat inappropriately with a German name, playing the Soviets, it of course is VonIvan. Now VonIvan is bringing in shock rifle frontline tactics, Soviet industry, and guard motor coordination. The map itself is Bombarded Refinery, not an often seen map, and indeed you do see some beautiful, beautiful kind of places that people might have fought. I like to think of this place as sort of like perhaps Stalingrad, the kind of tank factory was in the southeastern part. That's all the beautiful, beautiful rubble going on here, or maybe not so beautiful, but beautiful now in retrospect. We're getting away from it. Let's get back to the game. OKW is already starting off with a different build than usual. Instead of seeing an early Kubelwagen, we're going to see instead a dual Volks opening on top of that Sturmpio start. And VonIvan apparently decides he wants to go for that shock rifle frontline tactics, which means he'll get later that whole incendiary artillery barrage, that KV-8, as well as that IS-2. So devastating, devastating late game tanks. But though trading off a little bit more of your infantry support. Then again, guys, this is VonIvan, and he knows how to utilize his troops. And you see it already, he's got this fuel into supply. Germans are a little bit behind him, not getting to their fuel until just now. And this is a common thing to see on Bombarded Refinery. This very defensive placement for fuel is rather nice, that you can just kind of take it and just sit on it for days on end. We're going to see the first action coming out here. Oaks Grenadiers throwing out a couple of shots at these big army of Soviet conscripts. Taking out one of their opponents already, even as the Red Tide sweeps around their right flank. The Germans have nothing that can go and combat this. They're going to be forced to pull back in the face of just so much infantry. And in fact, I believe this Volkswagen squad wants to back away, as all of the available immediate Soviet infantry starts to just shred the German army. I'm actually kind of amused by VonIvan playing very Soviet, throwing forward a bunch of infantry squads all in one area in this massive hammer blow. Then again, Bombarded Refinery is an easy map for that. It's much thinner than a lot of it, the other two-player maps. That's probably a good thing for them. Sturmpio has very quickly managed to get down a shoe mine over here about this crater. Excuse me. Ooh, yeah, I didn't even realize this. One of his conscript squads had gone down to just one model, so maybe the Sturmpios can just sit down and take him out and retreat. That could be a big loss already. Stand and shoot, my friends. Stand and shoot. You'll be more accurate. But no, instead, that guy is going to get himself away. And again, the Soviet wave tactics are not going to help out too much. Yikes, and there we go. After dropping an entire squad, VonIvan backs away with the surviving men. And even still, he's just helping Hans to get incredible amounts of damage done to his troops. On a warning of VonIvan won't just kind of kill time until he can get shock troops onto the map. Those PPSs and body armor are very significant boosts to the early Soviet war machine. It's going to continue to be a VP loss, though, for the Soviets. 500 to 467 already. Going to see some newly minted troops sliding out here to the south, perhaps diving in to pick on the munitions point, or even go as far south as to take this VP, which is, of course, very far away from the front lines of, from the home base territory of the Soviets or the Germans. In the meantime, a cheeky attempted cap is stopped at the last moment by charging conscripts under the effect of Uvra, and with combat engineers sliding in behind with a flamethrower, it is time for helping Hans to just say, maybe I'll fight another day. Maybe right now is not the best idea. And a fairly quick battle group headquarters being called in by helping Hans. It's kind of nice to see that happening, as opposed to that usual spam that we see of just like mechanized regiment, quick, get a quick Panther 2, or maybe even an AA half-track coming out. But no, helping Hans instead, keeping his infantry in mind, not looking to lose models unnecessarily. And I could have sworn, oh, okay, that's what it was. Okay, so the conscripts just decide to merge with the combat engineer squad. You rarely see that happen anymore, but that's a very, very good decision. Conscripts are cheap. Why the heck not, right? And helping Hans, though, despite having a good fuel control for so long, it seems that that conscript sneak ninja play has been able to come in and cut him off his resources to the south. While in the north, Russian infantry just continues to trade lives for time. Alright guys, excuse me for the cut right there. I promise I didn't take out any of this game. I've just been dealing with a bit of a sore throat. As many of you know, I was away on vacation last week, and I'm still kind of recovering from vacation. Didn't get a whole lot of sleep, but I think that's probably the best part about it. Ooh, interesting. So we see a garrison down here in the south, bombarded refinery. You wouldn't think that this would supply any cover to the conscripts, but it does somehow. In the meantime, these combat engineers, in fact, for all the Soviet infantry, really, it's been a bloody business so far. They've done some damage to the Germans, mind you. But egads, look at all the dead bodies they've been paying for that particular advancement. And now we're going to see one final model. Okay, phew, he's going to get out alive. That's fantastic right there. But he was there just long enough, I think, for the Germans. Whoa. He's walking in the air. It's adorable. Alright, but the Germans have managed to cut back off their own territory. Bring, perhaps, just maybe, this position back into supply, but they got to move out these conscripts first, and it's not going to be easy with these shock troops shifting on in. It would be better for these Volksgrenadiers to back away. Back away, swim away, my friends. They're going to get back before the PPS is going to do too much damage, and for some reason, a smoke grenade coming out and hitting the Schumann that was been there for quite a bit of time. Taking out 1/3 of the squad in just one fell swoop right there. Okay, Volksgrenadiers coming down to the south, though, throwing an incendiary grenade, and the dude that was walking in the air decides it's probably better for me to not be so high.
Enemy forces capturing supply sector.
This is adorable. Neither player is just, I was going to say, does neither one know the other one's there? Okay, MG-34 put rounds down range, trying to suppress the shock troops. Will manage to do so. In the meantime, though, Volksgrens will continue to be outnumbered by Soviet infantry no matter where they go. People want to know what is going on, not who they are. And yep, shock troops are going to come in and not be able to do too much, I would say, against that house. Nope, never mind, I was wrong. There is some damage right there. There comes the frag grenade. And there goes out and back in with the Volksgrenadiers. But damage being traded at a kind of haunting rate here. Neither squad being able to sufficiently remove their opponent. There we go. Finally, the Volksgrenadiers take down that one squad back to one model. And bombarded refinery, you must have to hate it as an infantry-based play. There's so much open and negative cover here, or just simply no cover at all in either direction. And Helping Hans is making the best of it, it seems. He is going to go bring in a Rakettenwerfer, figuring that VonIvan is going for the later game tanks. And he'd be right, of course. The KV-8 with that flamethrower, the IS-2 with its supremely, devastatingly gorgeous heavy armor. Incendiary grenade coming out, forcing back the conscripts. That's good right there. 10 minutes in, we're almost bang on even in terms of tickets. Germans down just a couple. But like John Paul Jones, they've only yet begun to fight. But VonIvan, in the meantime, what is he looking up to? He's not teching at all, which is really surprising to me. He has called in the field infirmary, and that's it. I get the feeling, really, truly, that all he's going to do is just wait for those later game tanks. I think that's a great idea as well. To be fair, what I kind of expect from VonIvan. Could we see the death of the infantry squad, though? They are getting hammered like crazy. Yep, there he goes, a fiery death to be sure. And that's a big loss right there, not just because of the munitions, but that's the only base building squad that exists on the map for VonIvan at this moment. He's still a ways off in terms of actual command points to pick up those later game tanks. Shock troops in the meantime, though, eager to get their own bit of revenge. And that's a good grenade right there. Let's funnel the enemy a little bit further away from the vulnerable Storm Pioneers into the Volksgrenadiers, which are, first of all, a lot less subject, I think, to that PPS fire. You're also forcing your opponent into a choice. Do I charge up the Storm Pios and just know I'm going to get hammered by incredible amounts of firepower? Oh god. Turn and fight, my friends. Turn and fight. Can get one burst of fire off before these guys... Nope, there they go. They're going to retreat instead. Okay. So Volksgrenadiers, there could be some more damage being done here. One conscript squad getting away with just barely a sliver of health. He goes down, though. Another one has made it back to base, I believe. Yes, he's back in base. So VonIvan cavalierly throwing away the lives of his men. And I guess you can afford to do that when you have, what, 30 million, 40 million people? I couldn't tell you. My knowledge, no, actually more like 300, I guess, 300 or 400 million in the Soviet Union. My knowledge, I admit, of Soviet population numbers during the war is rather minimal. But another incendiary grenade coming out danger close, throwing tons and tons of fire, literally and figuratively, at these conscripts. We'll see them scurrying back with their tails between their legs. And finally, we will see a tank heavy battalion command. I think VonIvan realizes he can't be allowed, his own troops, will not be allowed to push forward unless they invest in some kind of tank structure. Considering how long it's going to be before the commander points do allow him to bring even in the KV-8, it's rather telling. And if absolutely nothing else, he has more than enough time to generate more fuel, as opposed to blindly attempting to hold on with no investment into tech structures. Because let's be fair, that KV-8 is not all that expensive. Incendiary Barrage has just been unlocked for VonIvan, and this thing can be very, very good. I remember an earlier game that I played, my opponent went shock rifle and started throwing down incendiary arty all over the place. And it's such a wide range of an effect that unless you know exactly what's going on immediately, you're going to get pwned. T-70 coming in for VonIvan, not the best decision, given that he knows there are Rakettenwerfers on the field, and add in those delicious Panzerfausts. Some really bad things could happen here. But Helping Hands is deciding to go for that special operations doctrine, so look to see those potato masher assaults really change the way that some of these infantry engagements go. Of course, the Germans right now don't seem to need any assistance on that one, just putting down some very discouraging long-range firepower. And perhaps will we see a preemptive grenade assault? Well, not yet, we won't. Two Volksgrenadiers in the meantime taking firepower from two squads of conscripts, be forced away the last model all alone as the MT-34 looks to cover his retreat, as well as assisting squads of infantry. But he might go down the retreat anyway. Ooh, shock troopers do take him out. T-70's on the field, he's in the area, and these poor guys don't yet have that incendiary AP round. But what they do have the Rakettenwerfer. Excuse me. So we won right there. That's a round in and trying to get close enough to throw down another either a Ketten round or a Faust. Incendiary grenade coming out. Yikes, gonna boil and cook somebody alive, but they're gonna lose the AT gun anyway. Ugh, this is back and forth like crazy. Tickets again, almost bang even. I don't know how they do it like this, but they are. Shock troops somehow holding steady in the face of all this destruction. And the Kettenwerfer being taken alive. Oof, but the T-70, well, he's gonna go down, my friends.
We have lost one of our armored vehicles.
And there is that KV-8. So VonIvan spilling on through to that late call-in already. Actually, maybe more call. Let's call it more like a mid to late call-in. It is only 15 minutes into the game after all. And almost immediately he runs himself over a mine and gets some damaged engine action going on right there. Forgetting decides, though, wait a second, bro, it's only me, myself, and I can't stay around for this. My guess is we're going to wait to see the Panther command tank being called in by the Germans to otherwise tilt the balance of power back in their favor, because one AT gun and some Fausts by themselves is not going to be enough. Looking on the northern side of the field, conscripts have been able to pick up a strategic point or two, but not the greatest victory thus far. Helping Hands, though, not also willing to really back down from the implicit challenge. We are going to see himself, I'm guessing, another, incendiary grenade, skadoosh, and to say these conscripts are not really paying attention. The Sturmpires do tons of damage whenever they get nice and close in there. Getting truly stuck in. Machine gun going to be able to bring these shock troops under fire, and with grenadiers in close support, KV-8 does not want to be there. Luckily enough for them, shock troops are going to be able to hold up this advantage a little bit longer, at least until this building gets incendiary grenaded. Volksgrenadiers coming in behind conscripts to the north. Firepower coming on in, and speaking of veterancy, just earning their 4th star right there. Looking at the Soviets, we're going to see some here and there, drips and drabs. Some of them are almost at full veterancy for the Soviet side of things. The Germans are much further behind. But of course, with the way that they generate that veterancy, they will be extremely, extremely devastating later on. And here's that incendiary artillery barrage I was talking about. You want to see how incredible amounts of area it just kind of gets covered here? Okay, this was a KV-8 to be sure. But this right here, that's just terrifying. Panther says, yo, bro, stay away from my little buddies, though, and tries to come in on a KV-8. But Kettenwerfer is in the area, and that's something that I think Helping Hans knows just kind of implicitly. So you're going to back away before taking any kind of real damage from it. And these combat engineers, foolishly enough, are trying to charge on forwards and pay the price for their temerity. The Kettenwerfer shot comes in, the capture of Kettenwerfer putting fire down on this beautiful piece of German engineering. And it's going to go well, at least for the moment. But the Panther's backing away, not because he can't deal with one for Kettenwerfer, but because he's got easier prey to toy with. And here we go on in. Once again, these tickets are pretty much bang on even. You have to always be very, very pleased when Company of Heroes opponents can play back and forth. And that's just have such a beautiful knowledge of the game. They don't seem to be too concerned about even really going down any kind of tickets. It's KV-8, however, they're taking tons and tons of damage. More rounds coming in? No, not quite going to happen. And that's unlucky right there. That could have been a big loss for this for the Soviets. The Germans definitely getting more than their chances to put damage down. Instead, we're going to have an URA coming on in. I guess we'll see some combination of squads here. No, instead he seems like he's going to send these conscripts down to the south to pick up this fuel point. Excuse me. And all things considered, not a bad idea. Other squad combat engineers again being pushed back. A lot of Germans like in the middle part of the field, not concerned at all by the potential for enemy attention. In the south, Sturm Pioneers and Volksgrenadiers will cut off the retreat of these conscripts, but not doing a ton of damage just yet. Just doing that whole blocking strategy, though, slowing them down. They're not getting a lot of damage for it. There is now a Zis gun on the field, though, and that Panther command tank is taking some damage here and there. But the main fight is down here to the south, as again more Soviet infantry gets taken down one by one by one by one by one. And it seems the Germans are here to match them after their own fashion. Two machine guns holding down the fort, as we're going to see an incendiary grenade coming down on top of, was it the Volksgrenadiers? Excuse me, the But Captain Puffer, no. On top of that, Zis gun. So watch the models begin to bleed away here. 3 models. 2 models. 1 model? Not gonna do it? There we go. 1 model left, and he's gonna just completely, totally bounce as fast as little legs can carry him. Not a shocking thing right there. I am wondering, will we see perhaps a grenade assault? That would have been, at least in my mind, a 15 munition investment for potentially taking these guys out, and if nothing else, taking out the building would be a great idea, but it seems that Helping Hans feels differently. Preferring to wait with his grenades until he has a much more attractive opportunity. 373 to 382, 20 minutes in, 21 minutes in, excuse me. And neither player looking to give an inch. And I wouldn't really expect that from them either. I mean, I feel like I said before, these guys are at the top of their game. And... Whew. And you know what? That's really going to have a good game. I don't feel like these guys are having an off game. Every now and again, you have one of those games that just seems to do nothing for you. You can't do anything right. Everything you build plays right into your opponent's strategy. It's a very, very disheartening experience. We're going to see the Soviets bring this back to practically a 50-50 map. Shock troops in the middle part of the map might want to consider getting out of there right now. They're taking some serious firepower between the tank as well as these Volks Grenadiers fully vetted up. It is going to be once again a Soviet map though. 372 to 373. We had exactly even tickets yet again. Alright, but what do we got going on? 22 minutes into 6 seconds. See, the Soviets are trying to lock down the middle part of this field, and you can't blame them. Oh, there's AT grenades helping Hans's P4 over here. Excuse me, P5, Panther. Panther after all. Is going to have a tough time pushing in on any of this infantry. Not going to stop him from trying though. This gun and pack, excuse me, Vaketin. I just cast the game with a pack in it. Gonna be just out of range. That sucks. This gun's got a teeny bit longer range, and we're going to see this KV-8 taking very, very discouraging firepower here, not doing anything about it. One more round will even be able to do it, I think. And the Panther moves on in. Not able to take it out, just barely. Incendiary artillery barrage, it's going to come down and cook a lot of these poor guys to pieces. One more model going down? No, not quite. Two squads making it out just barely. The South Sturmpowers are going to get overwhelmed by these shock troops, and it's going to be just too long before the Schwerpanzer headquarters comes up online. No, he could be able to get this in. I don't know. These shots are going to do tons and tons of damage. I think Helping Hans is going to be able to get this building up before too much more is done. I could have sworn I just saw an explosion on top of that. Why did I see... I don't know why I'm seeing shots drop on top of that. The AT guns are not in range. There's no indirect firepower. Nope, there they go. They are off. The Schwerpanzer headquarters is up and running. And one squad of the Sturmpowers is going to come over and repair it. That's a good decision right there. That is quite an investment after all. Helping Hans not being too aggressive on this particular moment though either. Both players taking a teensy bit of a break, and while that happens, I say that of course the Panther comes up and starts throwing rounds into these conscripts. But as both players are taking a bit of a break before the next round of combat really gets going, I mentioned in a previous video as well, I'm playing Dawn of War 3 when that drops, almost from the day it drops. I'll also be looking to cast a bunch of multiplayer games. It is a lot more like Company of Heroes with Warhammer 40k material. If you don't know what I'm talking about, definitely check out the videos I post. It's going to be super interesting to watch. Nothing else is going to be a beautiful game. Panther taking out a shock trooper or two, just like Cavalier. Main cannon shot between one of those guys, a couple of them into mush. Meantime, Volks Grenadiers being forced to fight a very lopsided battle. And I'm starting to get a little bit of lost imaging here. Yikes. Of course, that KV-8 coming on in is going to do tons and tons of damage, but Raketenwerfers seem more than happy to sit back and throw rounds at the at the Soviet heavy tank. Volk's Grenadiers in the meantime going to push back some conscripts. Going to be pushed back in turn, I think, by shock troops. At least until this Panther comes up and encourages them to go elsewhere. Unfortunately, it does not seem they are ready to listen to him just yet, and the Germans start to go down some more tickets, 314 to 373. We're going to see a PM-41 mortar coming out for VonIvan's Soviets.
Our territory is falling into
Probably a good idea, now I'm thinking about it. Between all of the German support weapons, as well as all the shot blockers, having a mortar and being able to have those high explosive rounds would be a great opportunity for them. Of course, if he continues to throw grenades like these shock troops do, screw the mortar. But 305 to 373, here's the time to charge forward, to take out this anti-tank gun, to take out this KV-8, to take out this mortar squad now. But the Germans are mostly back in base or spread out along the line. So to the south we have a machine gun and Sturmpayos, middle part of the field machine gun Raketenwerfer. And where is that other Raketenwerfer?
The enemy has 300 points remaining.
To the south, okay. KV-8 reveals itself as Volk's Grenadiers come up just long enough to spot. And 2 rounds coming in, slamming into the back of that KV-8, but it's not going to be enough to really do too much damage. And there's the mortar team announcing its presence. There's 2 mortar squads coming out, actually. Wow, I did not realize there's 2 mortars just yet. Looking for, but not finding that Raketenwerfer. No other Sturmpire squad. Yep, he's looking for the Raketenwerfer. Panther comes in, takes a couple of rounds already from this anti-tank gun to the north. This gun doing some damage. But forcing him back to KV-8 is a victory unto itself. It's kind of hard to argue with Helping Hans's logic that all he needs to do is take out that tank and he should be more than capable of pushing back the remainder of the Soviet forces. Of course, these shock troops have been worth their weight in gold. You see this poor machine gun getting charged, and it's soft retreating back a little bit more. What do we got in the meantime? Well, Panther Command continues to kind of wander around, not quite able to bring a complete defeat to the Soviet armor. But of course, even with these AT guns, AT grenades, conscripts aren't going to stand much of a chance against a Panther or a Panzer, or God help us all, but a Tiga. A fairly new squad of Volk's Grenadiers comes up, meets the KV-8 face to face, and decides maybe I should stay home from school today. 299 to 331 though. Looks like Helping Hans is going to go down a little bit more in tickets before he manages to take back either the center position or the northern one. The Raketenwerfer in the meantime throwing a couple more rounds in after the retreating KV-8. Grenade. Oh gosh. There should be nothing to be everything. There we go. Panther Command Tank coming on forward. Just going to dive after this KV-8 though. I don't know. It does not look like it. I think I'll just live in this particular angle. Whenever we have action in the middle part of the field, we get such a much more beautiful, beautiful scene here. But this flame that looked a little bit less than realistic. Nevertheless, I kind of almost hoped that the Germans would be able to have their own distance weapon, and they should. They would have themselves an infantry support gun. There it is. He's finally firing down. Rounds coming in the middle part of the field. Going to do good amounts of damage, taking out this cover. 1 kill already. Though the Soviet mortars are no doubt doing far more damage than their German counterpart. Rear armor hit though. Where's the rear armor hit coming from? It's to the death of the Raketenwerfer. Volk's Grenadiers in the meantime coming on forward. Infantry assault, and these conscripts don't seem to see it. Skadoosh. So more damage being done here and there, throwing them away. And getting hit by some of their own firepower, I would think. I'll rotate this a little bit more, maybe get a little more of the distance in here. P4 starting to come forwards, though. Not the greatest idea, but KV8 is super injured, and he goes down. Destroyed engine, everybody. And that is a great win for the Germans. I think it might even have been... No, it's the infantry, okay. Even though this for Kettenwerfer that came on forwards and then paid the price for his bravery. And helping Hans loses another AT gun as the IS-2 comes in. Oh, dear God, this is going to be terrible. We've seen this puppy can do. He is just great at everything. Infantry and medium armor. Yeah, that's going to be terrible. For helping Hans, he can't afford that King Tiger. That might be the only thing that's got him left in this game. Look at this, the IS-2 comes in just calmly 86s. Crazy bit of the infantry squad in what, one shot? Two shots? Don't know why I had that frame drop for a second there. The Panther command tank coming in is going to take some more firepower again from these captured Rakettenwerfers. All this takes now is one Rakettenwerfer for the Germans. Everything else is in the hands of the Soviets, and that is a it's called a minor shame, to put it very incorrectly. Sturmpires, though, managed to take out the Zis gun. That's a big victory right there. Mortar doing some work as well as the IS-2 redeploys, though, coming in behind and throwing some real damage in on the German infantry, but the P4 comes in as well. They're going to trade shots like crazy. But Kettenwerfer coming in behind. Oh my gosh, I believe this IS-2 is going to go down, everybody. He's got like no health left. His main gun is completely down. And there's not enough AT in the area to keep him alive. One more shot. 4 more years. There he goes. He goes down. Damaged engine goes in as well, helping Hans force back. I believe this brave Panther command tank might go down. All needs to be is one Ura, and that's going to be more than enough to see him fall. But no, there is an effective curtain of firepower defending this valiant Panther command tank. Other Kettenwerfer coming up and realizing, oops, this is not where we want to be either. Being forced to pull back in the face of overwhelming firepower, and all things Soviet are back in their home sector. So where is the state of the game right now then? Well, 33 minutes and 10 seconds in, 263 to 331. It looks like the Germans are going to take a 2-1 cap victory for the moment. But that can erode almost instantly. Instead, of course, even with that... yikes. Say with those smoke grenades coming in to reduce the effectiveness of those machine guns, and I've never seen that many machine guns being staved off before by smoke grenades in this game. It seems like the Soviets are going to at least push forward to potentially decap the center position. I don't know if that's a little bit too optimistic to think already. Well, they have their AT guns off, that's for sure. So very optimistic there. But helping Hans is getting closer and closer to that supreme super heavy tank. It's just going to get to recruit though, so that Pack 40 decides to rush on in. It is not going to be a wonderful time for those. Oops. Never mind. I take that back, what I said. How much longer before the other IS-2? Well, another 35 fuel, a bunch of manpower. We got a bit of time yet. And that just slow burn, let's call it. Pun intended. We'll see a lot of these anti-tank avenues being blunted. To call it, to be perfectly blunt, actually, that's a little more pun intended. Sturm Pioneer Army marches on in, 2 squads shredding conscripts in front of them. And even with these numbers, I don't know if the shock troops can kind of push them back, and why would you want to? In the meantime, those Sturm Pios turn their fire onto these mortar crews. And, oh dear God, these guys just keep falling like crazy. There goes one.
We have lost the mortar.
Grenade comes out, doesn't do enough damage. In fact, I think it barely does anything. Oh my gosh, the Sturmpires are just, they're beasts, my friend. They just do so much damage.
Our points have fallen to 300.
Another squad goes down. What did I miss just go down? I could not tell you at the moment. I feel kind of bad that I missed it, folks. I'm sorry. I think it was a conscript squad, a combat engineer squad. Well, this one right here will be a recruit mortar squad, so that's kind of good right there. Unfortunately, there is now also a Stuka Sufus on the map, and I'm really holding my breath to see where the first round goes. I think a barrage right here could be absolutely stellar. But Helping Hans has not yet decided to do that. Of course, he's kind of moving his troops up to the front. But one devastating barrage could be enough. Here we go. Ah, I think he's going to fall just behind. Oh no, he's coming right down the gap! Okay, so 4 kills, not completely devastating, but still decent nonetheless. Sturmpires, though, come up in the wake of this, and with the assistance of some Volksgrenadiers throwing out their grenade assault, these two guys are going to get blown to pieces. As well as an incendiary grenade. That was a quick 1-2 punch right there. Oh no, never mind. 1-2 punch did not happen. That was just, I guess, a environmental destruction being done. Decrewing both the mortar as well as that Rakettenwerfer is a big loss. VonIvan is now reeling, 263 to 267. He's still up in tickets, but his army supply looks pathetic. Less than 1/3 of his opponent, and nearly just 1/4.
Heavy machine gun team, prepare.
Kind of scary to see how much damage Helping Hans has done with the use of one Panther command tank and the loss of his opponent's Collins. That's just, it's incredible. I get the feeling now, though, that we will see an IS-2 being worked towards as soon as humanly possible. Probably staking all of his hopes and dreams on one final throw of the dice. Of course, I say one final throw of the dice. I'm not sure why he'd be rushing too much just yet. Panther coming in, not enough damage being done to completely take these guys out. And this next barrage is still a significant portion away. Now, I know this isn't going to happen, mostly because I sincerely doubt the Stuka Sufus will just throw out some prospective rounds. Of course, I've been wrong before, so here we go. He has a line of sight. Question is, where's that going to go? If he hits this... Oh, jeez. I might have been wrong. Oh! Oh, dear God. 14 men go down. The Kettenwerfer is completely decrewed. Infantry sections have been wiped out. Dear God, the humanity. Goes from 4 kills to 18 just like that, getting himself his first star of veterancy. And of course, that thing now means that he's ready to fire quicker. So just under 90 seconds before that next, so far, devastating barrage. Wow. I'm wondering if VonIvan knows what he can do to kind of counter this. I think he's, like I said, I think he's trying to slowly make his way back into picking up every bit of support weapons possible, and maybe praying that he can get another IS-2 onto the field. As of right now, though, his troops are getting torn to pieces. Not sure why he has a Panther shooting at the German troops, but I suppose, as a Soviet player, he will take whatever he can get. All that delicious manpower, though, has been utilized. He's not going to get, the IS-2 for quite some time now. And 40 minutes in, Helping Hans and VonIvan, two of the greatest players of this particular community. And Helping Hans is not making him look silly, but at the same time, he's definitely doing work. Oh my gosh. Now, if another barrage comes in and hits these guys right now, it's scary. How long? 20 seconds. One thing I do like to point out, though, is that the usage pattern of Helping Hans. He comes out, he throws down rockets, and completely retreats back into his own base. The only other place I would prefer to see this is down here underneath the 3-centimeter gun of this Schwerpanzer headquarters. And this entire Soviet push has been blunted. If he can manage to get this... Oh no. Oh no. These guys are going to get forced back. Yep, again, he's going to retreat. And here's where everything gets ridiculously messy. Might as well pull back to this again. I'd be crying at this point. Okay, Watt, keep your eye on that bit down here to the south, everybody. 29 kills. 29. VonIvan, he's got no defense against this. VonIvan is almost getting completely sealed into his own base. There's only 1 point under his control down here, and that's it. Other than that, he is getting savaged. He was up so much, but look at it. Look at his fuel. He can't even utilize his fuel. Oh my gosh. And now he's got Germans lying in wait as the first squad around the corner. Watch these guys getting torn to pieces. A burst of fire and already running back to base. There are 3 real squads of actual veterancy on the Soviet side. Other than that, very little else. On the Germans, he's got 2 squads of Volksgrenadiers with full veterancy already. A machine gun with 4 stars. A Sturm with 4 stars. Another Volks with 3 stars. This is an incredibly beefy force, my friends. And here comes another incendiary grenade. And with now assault grenades as well. Just doing some damage over time. Just damage over time.
We are down to 75 points.
Wow. Wow. That's all I can say. We will finally see some Soviet positions come back into the motherland's control. Formerly Soviet positions. There goes the Tank Battalion Command. So even if he wants to make a T-70 or something like that of the sort, not that he really should at this point, he's not going to be able to. And I think there's going to be another barrage happening pretty darn soon. And my guess is right on this position up here. No? No, he's positioning himself down to the south. Interesting decision. But 263 to 50, right now it's a 2-to-1 cap in favor of the Germans. No rounds just yet. Oh, you know what's going to happen? He's going to find the Soviet positions and hammer them. Look to see this rotate and shoot any second now. There we go, rotating. And it's 29 kills right now. Oh no. Looking further to the north. Another KV-8 called in. Okay, interesting decision right there. I don't think VonIvan really understands at this point how screwed he is. German infantry could come up and just throw themselves in just insane attacks. Throw in a Panzerfaust and run. Throw in a Panzerfaust and run. Anything like that would all he would really need to have to do. Vergettenwerfer as a first line of defense against this charging KV-8, and he's not going to be able to crank around a shot to get it off. But you know what? You know who is in the area? Well, the Panther is for one, my friends. And this machine gun, though he might go down, in fact he will go down, pretty darn quickly. Wow, he's not dead yet? That's completely shocking. But this Vergettenwerfer is doing incredible amounts of damage. There goes the KV-8. He's down. The Soviet infantry is falling to pieces. They're pinned. They're out. VonIvan's calling a GGW, well played. And that's what it is. He surrenders. He's been replaced by an AI. And in just under 44 minutes, Helping Hans goes down almost 200 tickets. Excuse me, actually more like 100 tickets. And then pounds his way back into the Soviet rear, really. Late game VIP. Look at this guy. He fired, what, 4 barrages and got 29 kills. Got 14 out of 1. Actually, 3 barrages now that I think about it. 3, from 4 kills to 18 kills, and the 18 to 29, blowing apart the late game Soviet army. And while the late game Soviets weren't as powerful as perhaps the earlier counterparts had been, oh, those were delicious barrages by themselves. Take a quick look at the veterancy up in the different corners. You will see the Soviets have some, but the Germans are just heaped up with medals. That's just a beautiful sight. Nevertheless, folks, thank you so much for tuning in for this next episode of Company of Heroes 2. Of course, if you have a game you want me to check out, please email me at conovergaming@gmail.com. I apologize I have not been checking it as much as I have In previous months, I've been a little bit distracted by some other things, but I promise I'll be looking for it at least once and probably twice a week, pretty regularly. I will hope to see you guys all soon, and for right now, you all have a great day. This is Colin O'Rourke signing off. Take it easy, everybody.